Okay, so 2 movies, you tell me if you think that they are close to what the future could be. First is Matrix. Do you think that there's ever a possibility that we just replace the world with putting ourselves in like a tube and simulating it?
You know, I'm more and more subscribing to the belief that this already is a giant simulation. What if we are a 3D simulation of 4-dimensional or higher beings that are trying to...
You think we're in Black Mirror right now? Like we're like one of like the, yeah, we're just simulations in a program?
Yeah, in many ways I do. I think there's probably many multiverses and there's big bangs that have been happening for time eternal, you know, and we're just playing out all the different possibilities. So, and you know what we're doing? We're creating virtual worlds in VR. We're doing the same thing. We're trying to recreate 3D worlds ourselves. So who's not to think that this is some higher order dimensional being's way of trying to map it out?
Are you Neo?
I think we're all Neo, actually. I
think you're Neo.
I think we are all Neo, right?
Well, my second movie feels a lot less complex now. I was going to say Idiocracy, which is like, have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sometimes when you were talking about the teenager in a speeding car,
yeah,
that's how I feel about us in like mob psychology politics right now.
That's where we are right now. And I get it. I have a lot of empathy and compassion for why. You know how we have our monkey and reptile brain? It's very reactive. The thing is, our brains, it's kind of like this story narrative construction engine. It's always looking for cause and effect because that's a coping mechanism to survive. It's looking for A plus B equals C. It wants to simplify things because it's trying to figure out how do I survive in this life. There's only 2 rules it wants. It's like eat, don't get eaten, and then reproduce. And that's kind of the core of our biological programming we're trying to transcend. The thing is, though, the truth is far broader than that, than the shortcuts we make up. Even language, the words I use, there's such clunky approximations for the thing itself, right?
Yeah.
And so, man, it's tricky because truth always is, it depends. There's nuances, there's conditions, but our brains don't like that. We like black and white. We like causality. We like, you know, kind of to be able to put in shortcuts on things. Just like hacks, we seek shortcuts.
Constant
and
hacks.
So that's why it's our brain at war with itself. It wants to just tag it and classify it, but then to truly be present and aware of what's going on, you have to make room for all this nuance and gray area.
Yeah.
And it's just too uncomfortable. So what I worry about is maybe what technology produces is more awareness and understanding and possibility of all the nuances. And these nuances is just too much for the brains to handle. It's like your head's exploding because there's too much to process. So it's easier just to create your little shortcut and stick in that because it's comfortable. This generation, I think our responsibility is to take all those tools from old meets new and use them in a responsible, mindful way to try to come up with things that will assist all humanity, democratize it for everybody.
So you think psychedelics should be legalized?
Well, it's already down the path.
Yeah.
We've got ketamine, we've got MDMA, psilocybin already down, I think, in phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials for certain things like PTSD, anxiety, depression, etc. I think Silicon Valley has an unhealthy relationship with it because everybody's jumping onto it and saying, oh, I microdose every day. Again, we fall in love with the vehicle, not the process. So people just say, oh, okay, shrooms and LSD microdosing, that's the thing to do. That's not it. There's a phrase which is, waking up is easy, growing up is the real work. Waking up is if you have something that expands your consciousness and you have a glimpse that there's more than just what your senses see. Growing up is integrating that and tapping into that every day without taking anything.